No, it is. It was going, then it stopped. It does that every once in a while.
Okay.
But you're right. It's tied to the sexuality, and
And relaxation and acceptance.
that's
of
interesting
yourself.
because you ever notice? I mean, there's so much tension between a couple when when you first meet and this and that before sex. Then, once you have sex, there's wow. It's almost, and that in acting is what you look for, where you can have that wow. Now we can do anything we want.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
the permission that I can go wherever.
The trust.
The trust. Yeah, that's such a. Hey, a quick story. We got a few minutes because I know I got to get you out of here. So, what time do you got to be out of here?
I believe by 12:20.
Oh. Okay, then we got time. When I got out of prison, I was on work release in 1976. I was doing a play. I was playing as a psychiatrist, and afterwards, actually, my parole officer was there, and this and that. And this guy came up to me and asked me if I wanted to do a porno. I said, sure, why not? I'll try it. And it was across the street from 51st Street. There was a big dance.
Oh, I remember that.
Roseland.
Yeah.
Roseland.
Roseland.
Right across from Roseland. And he took us around to the Pussy Cafe where we were going to, and not the Pussy Cafe, the Pussy Cat Theater. Well, that's where it was going to be shown. Well, the short part of it is, when I first met this girl, she was beautiful, this and that. And so we're sitting here, waiting for them to set up. So I tried to get to know her. She said, no, I want to be professional. And that ruined the whole thing because, there was always that tension. And a man with tension is going to be a failure. And it just didn't work out. And I remember afterwards they told me, well, we shouldn't have put two dummies together. They should have had me with somebody been around for a while instead of a newcomer, two newcomers. But it was but that's what when you're talking about that. I mean, that's what we look for in acting, where I've watched scenes where you see in the movie or the television, whatever it is, the husband will pat the woman on his wife on the ass, and there's no reaction. You know, why? What do you mean there's no reaction? Because she's not comfortable with you. They're not comfortable with each other, and she's not doing the work.
Well, not only that, but this is a problem. But sometimes there's a problem with the person's partners. If they're married or in a relationship, and the partner doesn't want their wife or husband involved in that. You know what I mean?
We're talking about regular, not porn. I'm talking about
regular. No, absolutely. It's like a problem. They feel worried when they go home and tell their partner or show the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They and I'm just doing the work.
That shows the work.
But that's a problem. That is a problem.
If
you're in a marriage or a relationship where the partner is very upset about the kind of work you're doing, or doesn't like it, or has problems with it, it makes a problem for the actor or actress. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why a lot of divorce stuff. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. There are very successful actors who have been married and have wonderful careers. But sometimes it's not that way. There's a lot of jealousy and problems from the partner, so that the woman may not react because she's thinking her husband's going to say if he sees that.
Yeah.
You understand?
I understand.
It's being an actor is a lot of sacrifice. You know what I mean? And if you are going to be a great actor, you need to also be in a great relationship in your personal life. If you're going to have a relationship, you know what I mean? I mean, point in case. Look at Meryl Streep. My God, nobody knows her husband, right? Really.
Yeah.
But they've been together forever. They have 4 children, right? And you never heard a bit of scandal about her.
No.
So they must have a really good relationship. You know what I mean? That he allows her.
It's one of the rare ones.
To do anything she wants. You know what I mean? At this point, she could probably do anything she wants. You know what I mean? As an actress, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that doesn't always happen. And I think sometimes, as I'm saying to you, because I have been on set with that I have. I've had that, you know, where the partner's worried about the.
Really? And
Oh, absolutely.
you've seen it?
Oh, I've experienced it.
Oh, you experienced
yeah,
it?
absolutely. Where, you know, it's,
Can you tell
then they
the
bring
audience?
then they bring the wife on set or something.
Really?
Oh yeah, or the wife to the rehearsals, or you know what I mean, because they're terrified. I can't get into specifics, but
No, I'm not specific, no, but
yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like Charlene Jones once said, this guy was complaining about acting, and this and that, I said, you don't have to be an actor. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
This is true.
When you talk about something like that, you don't have to
No,
be an actor.
you don't have to be an actor.
You know, either be an actor or...
You don't.
No,
you
I'm
go do
just saying,
something else
go
in your
do
life.
something
You know, when you hear
do
people,
the work with
when
me.
people say, you know, what else am I going to do? And I've said that. You know, I've said that. You know, what else am I going to do? I'm trying to do. That's BS. Because, you know, I could go and do some you know, some job that, you know, doesn't require a lot of intelligence. I can do it right now. You know, I could go out, I guess, and find something to do. But
today it's a little rougher.
It is a little rougher, and it is, my age is a little rougher. But I'm just saying that you're right in the sense that
not your age.
Get the ego out of it. You know what I mean?
That's the ego.
You know, because the thing is, being an actor is actually an honor, and you know what I mean. And so the thing is, you need to live up to it, and you need to understand it comes with the territory. It does. It comes with territory, John. You know that.
Definitely.
You know, and I don't think, and that's another thing. A lot of the people who are just getting into it now, I don't think they understand. They don't, you know, they don't understand. Also, like right now, it might be good, and then next year, the page turns, and some people are into other things, and they're wondering why they're not getting work. You know what I mean? We go through that. Don't we all go through that? I mean, you have to go through the ups and the downs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It hasn't all been up. It doesn't just stay up. There's ups and downs. Just I had years, you know, where, you know, I was doing other stuff. You know what I mean?
You're right. And the actors today are not doing like we did in Jimmy Ray's or the Rain Check out here. The Jimmy Ray's, we would send each other over the same parts. Actors communicated. We talked. We hung out, we got drunk, we did everything.
We got in fights about certain things.
Yeah,
you know, about this thing and that thing.
Right.
And this worked and that didn't work, and we'd argue about it.
Argued, and it was a...
And who
you
cared?
were learning, and,
who cared? Because
not even knowing you were learning,
right.
you were learning. And you watched each other's work, and we supported each other. Those days are gone. Yeah.
Well, everything is so
LA is different, actually.
Everything is so damn appropriate. You know, everything has to be so appropriate, and you can get sued for anything. And you can't say this, and you can't say that, and you got to be careful about this, and you get accused of that. You know what I mean? And so it's like a lot of it is in the way of, you know what I mean?
If you want to be politically correct today, you got to lie to people. Really, you know? You have to lie to people.
Be crazy, but not too crazy.
Yeah.
Be sexual, but not too sexual. Be this, but don't be that too much. You know what I mean?
One of my biggest, you know, it's like Asians. I used to quote, you know, I love Chinese women. I love them, you know, and to me they were always, you know, Oriental. And today, how is that a bad word? You know, you can't say the Oriental. I can't say Oriental anymore. It's like with the gay parade, this and that. I used to watch it down there in Santa Monica, and it's, I'm the only guy that's ever been in the Stonewall, and I'm straight. You know, they're having the parade in the Stonewall. I remember the night it happened. You know, I know why it happened. I know, you know, the wise guys owned it, and they were warned that night they were going to be raided. But it was Bella Abzu and all them other ones, and I'm glad they did it. They got what they got. You know, I lived in Greenwich Village. Everybody was, it was a different world. We all got along. I was straight. I used to hang out at a lesbian bar, Kelly's Village West, because I used to get laid a lot. It just, they wanted a man then once in a while. You know? And there was no, you didn't have to tell them I love you. You know, there was no relationship. It was just sex. Plato's Retreat and all of that. I mean, but all this politically correct shit is just ruining the world. And, you know, and It's done for attention now. Everybody's going out there saying you can't say this. Oh, they want that camera. And I tell people, outside of what's between a woman's legs, that's the second most powerful weapon in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
The camera.
Oh, you watch Jerry Springer and all that, what people will do to get on there. And they'll say and do anything if they can get attention.
It's narcissism.
So it's not acting. We don't have, and you don't have, there was a few actors back then. It wasn't like it is today. And even today, acting is on the bottom. And people are putting together a film.
Absolutely.
The last thing they worry about is an
because
actor.
it's happened to me several times. You know, several times, and even when I wasn't even really off book or trying or anything, I've been told later, they said, you blew us away with the acting, but we decided to go a different direction with the with the look, you know what I mean?
A look.
And I mean, and I was glad to get the feedback, you know what I mean, at least. But it's crazy, you know, it's like, I would say this, but even in voiceovers, it's that way. It's, you know, I don't know, the world has become, it's become very narcissistic, and at the core of everything, though, John, nothing has changed in terms of, it's, to me, and that was what I saw in that scene the other night, and I see it constantly when you talk about political correct. John, it's still wrapped up in the power struggle, and who wants to rule the world, and how you go about doing that.
It's all run by corporations today. You don't have the
in anything we're in, it's the power, you know, and if you can get power by being nice to everybody and being politically correct, you have to say, are you doing that because you really believe that, or are you doing that because that's a way of getting power? And you and I both know that. It's like, so much of what anybody does is about controlling every situation. I see it in myself. I saw it myself just the other day. I saw it in a situation. I went, now why did I do that? And I was so upset with myself because I caught myself in a situation where I didn't need to be controlling anything, and I chose to do that. And I went home and I had to go through an intake of myself because I thought, Jesus Christ, Willow, you know, because it's in me too. And I got it, you know, I had to really sit with myself and say, no, I'm not going to do that again. You know what I mean? And I caught it. But it's like, as human beings, and those who really have power to move and shake things around, it's so easy to become corrupt because everyone bows. You know what I mean? Everyone, like, you know, bows down. And so, I hate to say it, but I think, you know, we've been through ages where you took the hammer and you hit people on the head and you created power. But we're in an age right now where
that was my era.
Goodfellas. With the gun, with the power where you go, I just want everyone in the world to have peace, and that's a way of having power. Do you know what I mean? But it's unfortunately, it's still about that, and not about the wanting your fellow person across from you to have as much enjoyment and love and peace in that moment with you as you have. And by doing that, unfortunately, that's about balance of power, not about one person controlling the situation. It's about giving up things.
But in the business now, it's not, you don't have your Marion Doherty's, you have a few good casting directors, Joanna Ray, that still want actors, and not, the corporations.
Models.
The corporations now run the business. It's not it's not show business, and it's a business. And that's what the studios are not there. It's run by corporations. And that's what's taken over. I was at the union meeting last night.
You went for the theatrical?
Yeah. And David White said something really interesting on why they gave away something to the studios. Is because eventually, who's taking over? The studios at least know about the actors. And they know what talent is and this and that. Then he doesn't believe, and I don't believe, Amazon or Google and all these others care about talent. They care about profit.
Yeah.
So the actor, they could care less if you get it or not. They're not going to be interested in you getting work or what. So it's not going to have to... As far as they're concerned, they're going to go back to the days of no dogs or actors allowed. You know, I mean, that's the way that's the way they look at it.
Oh, dogs are actors.
And you ever had them t-shirts back then? If you look for no dogs or actors allowed, which actually really was at one time. So, but that's what's happening. You don't have casting directors that go out there and look for talent. They oh, you got the look, or they've done. Corporation wants to know how much that actor will make overseas.
Well, you know, case in point, did you read yesterday, I read it, that Robert Redford is suing New York.
He's suing New York for what?
He wants to make a movie there, and he used the word, he said they're effing me from behind. They're like, they want so much money from him, and it's his Robert Redford.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you think about where filming is happening, New York should be at his knees that he wants to come and make a movie in New York, because New York is not where everybody goes to make a movie. You know what I mean? And they're going to Canada and overseas and Romania and Louisiana, everywhere but the big cities. And they want to, as he said, F him in the butt because he wants to make a movie there. So Robert Redford, he's not standing up going, he's not taking it.
We need it. We need to stand
him.
below.
This is the guy who started Sundance, for God's sake.
I know.
You know what I mean? You would think they'd be bowing.
But why New York wants it. New York just became like California. New York City just became.
They just want Wall Street.
No, they became a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
So the city needs so much money.
But
now, they don't.
Well,
either you.
They should welcome him in there making.
They should welcome, but they don't. They need their price.
But I like the fact that he's not just taking it. I like the fact that he's not just like.
Nobody should take it anymore. You know what I mean? I'm good for him. You know? It really is. Hey, look, there's no work out here because everything goes away.
He's really good. Have you seen the Sundance Channel for TV?
Yeah, I watch it.
Oh, I really like it.
I
Oh my
watch.
God.
I very rarely watch
cutting edge.
network, but you know, the one good show I do like on. I mean, I watch a lot of PBS and this and that because of work.
Yeah.
I see talent. I see a detective who looks like a detective.
Right.
You watch an American detective.
Right.
Especially you see some 19-year-old girl playing a police lieutenant.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
a New York City police lieutenant.
Right.
She's 19 years old. Well, the
Right.
detective is maybe 17.
Right.
It's so unrealistic. Why should
know.
I watch it?
Right.
It's like Shawshank Redemption. Everybody talks about that prison movie. As soon as I saw a black guy and a white guy together, I knew this is bullshit. I mean, I was in Atticus, Sing Sing, and all that, you know. And you had the Puerto Ricans over there, you had the blacks over there.
Because they kill each other and put them together, right?
Well, I mean, it's the law. I mean, that's whatever it was. Then you had the white guys over there, and I used to love it. Then they used to say, then you had the Italians over there. We were never considered white. We were always the Italians. Because we usually ran the joints. We did back then. You know, we had everything.
You should write something about your home.
Everybody, that's been done and all that. I don't need to do that. It's just, it comes out of my personality because I don't care about. I sit in front of the union thing and all that. That's why I ran for the board. And I'll run again. Because I know about unions. Been there. You're not going to play games with me. But I'm sorry, folks, we got off sex, but.
No, I think that it's still related though, because
it's all related.
It's all related because the thing we're really talking about the most thing, I think what John you were talking, I think the thing we're really talking about though is being real. And you know, having real experiences in your actual work. You know what I mean? In other words, a real experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't have a real experience if, number one, you're not open, number two, you're not relaxed, number three, if your ego is such a way that either you're self-serving or you're infatuated by the person, the lead you're working with, and it's all about taking the selfie with the person I worked with rather than what did you do with them? You know what I mean? The work that you did.
Right.
Because it still comes down to if you're not able to work on the same level in that moment, then something's in the way. And so it comes down to being real. When you say
something's in the way, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But that's where isn't that what you should be studying? So that's not in your way?
Well, I think, yes. I think because I know, you know, like I said for myself, for teachers, I mean, as we all know, a teacher really can't teach you anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like they're going to teach
They
you a
guide you.
technique that you go out and then now you're going to do all these things. And people who say that, I'll get you work and blah, blah, that's BS, and you know that. They're taking
Sure.
your money.
Taking your money.
But what a really good teacher, a
It's
really
really
good
a
mentor,
coach.
is what they do is they guide you
Right. They
into
coach.
your direction of where, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
of where your talent, your particular talent is,
Right.
and then they guide you so that when you try to go maybe this way, they can say, you know, it was better when you were going that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from what I see, this way is going to take you down a road of faith. This way is going to take you down a road of more open and development into yourself. And a real teacher can see that, and a real teacher can also see, because we can see when we watch another person, if you have any eyes, you can see that that person, all their stuff is wrapped up in maybe this one area. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so there's a lot of worth there. There's a lot of stuff there that they could probably open up and play better than this person. Do you know what I mean? If they develop that.
Right.
And also, you know how it is when someone says that's okay for you to go there. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
If someone says it's okay, the next thing you know, the person goes there.
Goes there.
But if someone doesn't say it's okay, they think maybe it's not okay to go there, especially when you're young, or maybe when young, and I mean young in the work.
Right.
Even you could be 70 years old and starting it, and you're young in the work. But if you think you know everything, you're in trouble already. And you think you don't need a teacher or someone to tell you anything, you're in trouble. You know what I
The
mean?
greatest line one of the best lines I heard. In order to be a success, you have to be willing to fail.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
You have to be willing to fail, and they stress that at the studio. When I was going to do my final audition at Actors Studio, I asked Salome, what do you think I should do? She told me, do Frankie and Johnny.
That's what I was trying to think of. That's the one.
Yeah.
The one in New York with the two.
Right,
people,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, if you said the cooking.
Yeah, cooking, right?
I read
Frankie and Johnny.
it. I read it and this and that, and I remember a couple of weeks before I was supposed to do the final, and I told Salome, I don't identify with this guy. Why am I doing this? She said to me, just do it. And that day was Mark Rydell, Martin Landau,
They were all there.
Mark Rydell, Martin Landau, and just what's his name? The director.
Sidney Pollack.
Sidney Pollack. I apologize. That's right. That was the three of the judges that
Right.
day, and I passed. I did it with. It was a wonderful. I don't. To this day, I don't remember what I did. I really don't. I was just. I don't remember. And I still had the scene book, and I looked through it. And I still don't know what I did. I was just in the moment. I just did what Salome said. I just.
Right.
All right, just do it.
And you were connecting.
Yeah, well, of course. And I got in. I was the only male. Four of us. It was four women and myself. I got in that year. But it's what you're talking about. You just gotta. You have to study, and people like Salome and that. And I always recommend Salome.
Yeah, she's
the
great.
people, all the Actors Studio members in New York and this new camp and all that, because they know the work.
Well, I worked with Barbara Bain, and she pointed me in the right direction.
Best.
You know what I mean? Because they also see where you have things in spades and where you don't, and then you have to balance it out. You know what I mean? So if you happen to be extremely dramatic, let's lighten it up. You know what I mean? And that would bring more energy to it. You know what I mean?
I didn't realize you studied with Barbara.
Yeah. So I mean,
Her daughter's gonna come on the show, you know. But yeah, Barbara, she was used to moderate. Now that on the Wednesday class, now that Lou Antonio takes, but she's there every Wednesday. I mean, but I was doing. Was it Yui? No, not. Yeah, I think I was doing Yui. I did Yui for her. You know, the one I played down here. And she gave me some good advice on that. I love that play. It was great. I like a lot of things to do by myself because it's easier. But I always want to know what doesn't work. I'm always interested in that. What didn't work? That's what I tell them to tell me. Because I know I'm grateful for the things that do work. remember when I was studying with Terry Schreiber. I was out of prison, and I didn't realize what I was doing then, because I didn't know any better. But I remember this one actor off stage. He was complaining to Terry, "Why can't I be like that guy Solari?" And I didn't know what it meant then, but years later, I didn't care about acting. I mean, it was a good way to get parole. So, and I was getting laid a lot. Acting never was my, well, it came out a lot of times. My first love was being a gangster. The 7-Ups, there was a movie. I don't know.
You are definitely Italian.
The 7-Ups, those are the guys that arrested me. The late Richard Lynch used to joke about it because he was a friend of mine. That was his first starring role. Those are the cops that arrested me. And years later, they got arrested. So, get down the tape. Big difference between New York cops.
I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see
You should.
something.
I can still see we're going. And
how are we doing?
we're doing good. There were some great moments we lost. Now, do you have a website, or how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, the best thing is probably to go to my IMDb page. It has, a lot of the work on there that I'm currently doing and, have done. And it has my agent, my manager on there, and my own phone number, my cell phone number, and, email. I think that's the best way. All of that's on there.
Facebook too.
Facebook too, but I think IMDb is the best.
Okay, yeah, I'll remember to put that up there.
I haven't updated my website in a while.
Oh, you have a website?
I have a website. It's willowhale-actress.com, and I forgot how you update. You know what I mean? And the guy tried to tell me, and then I couldn't get back in touch with him. He did this beautiful website. It's beautiful, but it hasn't updated in almost 8 months, and I have been working a lot, so I haven't even had time to update my resume. But yeah, it's interesting all this talk we've had, and I'm playing grandmothers mostly, and I play a lot of grandmothers. I've morphed into that from older moms, and I'm enjoying myself immensely. I've had an enormously wonderful time working on all these different women, and it's fun because they're not all like sweet, gingery grandmothers. I did this one recently called School's Out with Jared Safer as the producer and Jared Cohn is the director. And I replaced Sally Kirkland.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually, it was kind of exciting. And I know she couldn't do it. She was not feeling well or something. It didn't work out for her. But it's a comedy. And they brought me immediately on to say Grandma Alice, and I thought it was going to be like, one of my sweet little grandmothers. They had me in fatigues.
And Sally.
Yeah, they had me in fatigues and like, okay, and like almost Marine Sergeant, getting these 3 boys into action, and oh my God, did I have fun? Really? Oh my God, it was like whipping ass with these young, 18-year-old boys, and teaching them lessons like we were talking about, being the mother mentor, but like, not
Grandma Cougar?
Grandma, like Grandma, we're gonna kick some ass here. It's not gonna be about like, serving cookies. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that. I mean, because I barely had time to read the script. I got on there. I had no idea. I had so much fun. I mean, it was like, because I thought that they wrote a role like that. How fun for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. To make a grandma like, not someone that not a pushover. She was like.
Well, it's very obvious you love your work.
Oh, I love it.
And that's why it's called the work. People don't understand that. It's work. Actually, Sally Kirkland did the first show I ever did.
What's that?
On public access.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
really?
Sally.
Well, she's fantastic, and
she wants to come back. She told me she'd come back anytime.
She's brilliant and beautiful and all those things, and it's. I am so glad that she's still around. I know she did this film with Billy DeMotta last year, won tons of awards.
She's always won. She's a good actress.
Great actress. But
and there's somebody who's always out there. She's willing to.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. She's what we're talking about. Yeah. She's one of those women that we've been talking about, and you were very fortunate to be with Shelley and with.
Well, one of the things I told my students when I was teaching in Cleveland for the longest time, And even now, when I do private coaching and stuff like that, the things I'm going to teach you and talk to you about is not coming
Right.
from me. It's really coming from people like Shelley